Hello and welcome to a Life in Badges. I sort of collect pin badges, but not really. I've just got quite a lot of them. But each one generally tells a story about something that's happened in my life or something interesting. So I thought this would be quite a good way of talking about my life, but not in a boring, hopefully not in a boring way. Today's badge is this one, the BAN Electromusic Badge. So BAN Electromusic, the BAN stands for Boucher and Novak, I think. And it was cousins, Angus Boucher and I think Mike Novak, but I might be wrong. Anyway, a long time ago in the midst of history, I think in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a band which I think you can probably Google called The Enid. And The Enid was named after Angus's auntie, and I think it was Mike's mum, who's called Enid. And they called the band The Enid. They had relative sort of culty success. And when they split up, there was a lot of backline, sort of instruments, amplification, speakers, all that sort of stuff. Because Angus Boucher had invested in the business, he ended up owning. So let me tell you a little bit about Angus and how I met Angus. When I left art school, I got a job pretty much straight away. So I was quite lucky in that respect. And as soon as I had a job, I had an income. So I thought, well, I better go and find somewhere to live. And I looked around and I saw this really nice flat in Prince of Wales Drive in Battersea. This is the furthest south in London that I have ever lived. I mean, literally, it was the flat, then the river, and then North London. So it's like I was a piece of water and park away from Battersea Park. I was a bit of water in a park away from where I was brought up. But anyway, it was still a southwest 11, I think it was postcode. Anyway, so I went to this flat, and as usual with shared flats, they give you an interview. And I think what swung it for me at the interview was that I told them that I could cook and that I made really good spare ribs. Or was it spare ribs at the time? I can't remember what it was. Anyway, it was something really good. And they said, oh, well, if you can cook, why don't you come in? So I had the smallest bedroom in this mansion flat. And there were 5 of us in there. There was a chap at the end. Then there was another woman and Angus. And then a woman came and had another bedroom. It's very confusing. I mean, it's so long ago now that I can't really remember exactly. All I remember is that one of the new female sharees always wore odd socks, and I think she was an animator, but I can't remember her name. Anyway, so that's how I first got to meet Angus. And Angus at that time was doing all the admin and looking after all the work that was going on at BAN. And so a couple of times I went over to the studio, and one time I went there. By the way, that studio used to be let out as a rehearsal room, and they used to have all sorts of good bands in there. I mean, they had I think Claire Grogan was in there once, and Angus clapped eyes on Claire Grogan and went, "Oh, she's gorgeous," and fell completely in love immediately with Claire Grogan. But when I went there, it wasn't Claire Grogan, it was X-Ray Specs who were rehearsing, and their lead singer Polly Styrene. And Polly and I got chatting, and we got on quite well, and so we went out for dinner, and we sort of talked about all sorts of things. It was a sort of a free-ranging conversation, because I'd been squatting for 4 years before that. There's probably another button that talks about me squatting very nice house in Kensington Garden Square. So we had sort of like an alternative society to talk about, and we got on really, really well. It was nice. And unfortunately, that was the only time that I saw her, because I think she went on tour, and I probably fell in love with somebody. I do that quite a lot. Certainly did that quite a lot when I was younger, and I never saw her again. But BAN went on for a while, and Angus was our when I had, I think it was my first or second agency. Angus did all the bookkeeping for us. So Angus was our bookkeeper, and he was totally, absolutely straight as a die, very, very good bookkeeper. In fact, extremely good bookkeeper. It kept on for ages, and it was nice to have a friend who was a bookkeeper who was working with the business. I like to work with friends. I know that's kind of unusual sometimes, but actually, even I like to turn clients into friends as well. So, friendship is very important to me, and it was nice to have Angus there, looking after us, make sure that we paid our national insurance on time, and that we paid our VAT on time, and all the stuff that bookkeepers, a good bookkeeper will do. So that's the story of this badge, the BAN Electromusic badge. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's. I mean, there's so many. All these badges are so related, and I've got so many badges to go through.